What's up, guys? How you doing? You having fun? Man, Gina's just, my friend Gina just asked me, did you do Awana when you were a kid? I didn't get to. And the reason why was we moved all the time. We moved from city to city growing up. I lived in 11 cities before I turned 17 years old. Yeah. So by the time, raise your hand if you're 5 years old. 6 years old. 7 years old. By the time I was 7, I believe I lived in 4 cities. Isn't that crazy? I kind of like it though. Well, yo, did you guys begin school last month? Was it last month? 3 months ago? Everybody has so many different start dates. Well, that's my wife, Amanda. I've got 4 kids, one in his 20s, and then I got a 3-year-old named Lucy, a 6-year-old named Elijah, and then an 8-year-old named Sydney. And she made that special sign for the first day of school. But if you can see, it was actually the 5th day of school. And that's what my kids look like, 3 of them there. My 4th is working and doing well in life, so I'm proud of them. But 3 of those kids, they had 2 of them have stitches in that picture. Anybody gotten stitches before?
My mom has.
Yeah, well, my boy's got stitches on his face. How do you think he got stitches on his face?
He fell down.
Yeah, but
He cut his head off.
no, not the bite. Good guess though. Yes. Yeah, he split his head and it was a lot of blood. Oh, it was crazy. And then my little girl, the little one, she's got stitches right here in her lip. She fell down and bit her lip and she got stitches. Yeah?
I did.
You do too? Did you nickname your stitches? She said, look, these are my stitches. Their name is Stitchy. And she stuck them out. Well, you know why they were getting hurt? 2 reasons why they were getting hurt. This summer, my wife, my kid's mom, took away all screens for the whole summer. No Peppa Pig, no Octonauts, no anything for the whole summer. Can you imagine that? Yeah, for the first week, that's kind of how they were. They were like in withdrawals. They had a twitch, you know. And then the second week, they got in fights, and then because they realized that they existed and they were in relationships with their siblings. Then the third week, they realized, oh, the world exists. Wow. Because it takes about that long for the attention span to kind of come back. And so then they wanted to jump off everything all the time. All right?
The one that got stitches jump off all the time.
Well, yeah. You're awesome. So I wanted to tell you a story about this girl. This girl, her name is Ava. And can you say Ava?
Ava.
So she is in this picture, 11 years old. She's now 14 years old. She lives in northern Tanzania in Africa. All right, and she has many scars from cuts and injuries that she sustained, which began when she was 5 years old. Because when she was 5 years old, she got a job. She had to get a job because her family needed her to do it. And her job was to go and to get water at the water place every day. She had to fill this up as full as she could fill it to be able to carry it. And then she had to carry that water home. Now the first couple years Ava did that walk, her mama, Katerina, did the walk with her. But then she got hurt and couldn't do the walk anymore. And Ava got stronger and she could fill up the whole thing. Even when she was 7 years old, she could fill up the whole thing. So she did that walk on her own. Now that walk, when she does that walk, I got a picture here that kind of shows what she looked like when she'd be on that walk. That walk, she's got the jerry can. Now, why do you think she's all leaning crazy like that? Yeah, in the back.
Because she kind of has to put the
It's exactly awesome. Now, do you know how heavy that can would be full of water?
100.
Not 100 pounds. Not 25 pounds. North of 25. Less than 50. 40 to 44 pounds. Yeah, 40 to 44 pounds. Now, why do you think she's got a stick in her hand? Right here. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So on her walk that she has to do every day, and it's a 6-mile walk, 3 miles out and 3 miles back. She has to do it every day. If she doesn't do it, what's in that can? Water. So what will her family not have if she doesn't get the walk done? Can you live without water?
No.
It is impossible. It is impossible to live without water. And I'm going to tell you what kind of water this was in a minute. But she would get attacked by hyenas almost every day on that run, on that walk, forgive me. And the other problem with the walk is in Africa, when kids are alone, sometimes kids get kidnapped. In fact, if you don't know what kidnapping means, I got to be careful because I know we got some young ones, but that is when bad people come and they take you and they take you away from your family. And the #1 source in the world, well, especially in Africa, statistically, for kidnapping of children or human trafficking for parents, if you're connected to all that, is the route kids take to water because they have to take it every day. Her older sister, Halima, told me that Ava would have to get married when she was 12 years old. Now, in the United States, we don't get married at 12 years old. It's illegal, you know, it's against the law. And I said, Halima, why would you say that? World Vision is doing all this great work. And she said, John, we're doing good work for World Vision, but Ava still has to go out there. As long as she's got to walk that walk, she's exposed. And she could get kidnapped and taken. So I'm going to kind of jump to, well, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to jump ahead to this because do you guys know what this is?
Penny holder.
My man right here.
I think it's a kind of code, quarters.
Yeah, exactly. Now, what are we going to do with that money? We are going to help fund water projects that will provide kids just like Ava with clean water. And it's important, guys. This is one of my good buddies, Ronald, right here on the left. That's my other good buddy, Samuel. There's Barnabas. All of these guys are incredible, incredible guys, and they work for World Vision, and they live in another country called Kenya. And Ronald there is a water engineer. His job is to teach villagers in Kenya how to develop their own water projects. And they're not little itty-bitty water projects. Like, where do you go to get water from? The store? That's awesome, man. That's amazing. So check this out. When you get that water's coming even into a machine in your house. It's coming from a water source. And that water source is really big. It's really big. And it purifies all this water. By purify, there's a lot of bad stuff in water. Do you know Ava, when she would drink the water she would drink, it was coming out of a muddy pond where animals actually would go to the bathroom in that pond. And she had to use the same pond the animals had to use. Because of that, she would get diseases like typhoid, which is a really bad disease, typhus, guinea worm, which is a little itty-bitty worm that can live inside your body, and it hurts you bad. It makes you really sick. And malaria. She survived malaria. Thank you, Lord. She survived malaria. But that is over. Yeah, go ahead.
What if you use the water for like other stuff that they have to use it for? Like just drinking?
Yeah, absolutely. The difficulty is with the water is until you've got access to it, the only thing you can really do is get it. So their kids are not in school, and kids in Kenya don't hate school. Like they're dying to go to school. They want to go to school so bad, but they can't because they got to go out for 8 hours a day and gather that water, right? But once they got the water and they're in school, everything changes. All the promises of God are kind of glittering before them now. They can see hope and dream dreams. Yeah, one more question, then we're going to move on. Go ahead. Malaria is a disease that you get from drinking bad water, which does damage to your cells in your body. All right? And it can kill you. It can kill you. She didn't die because she had medicine from World Vision. World Vision helped her get some medicine. So, this is my friend Ronald. And I want to tell you a little bit about him. This is him talking to my friend Tracy about how they build water projects. They work out in the middle of nowhere. That was private property owned by a very wealthy man in Kenya. And Ronald went and talked to him and he said, will you let us use your land to build a water project? And I said, Ronald, did you pay for that land? He said, no. And I said, did he let you use the land? He said, of course. And they built a massive water project that goes way down deeper into the ground, guys, almost a third of a mile into the ground, okay? And then it pumps the water up from under the ground by using solar panels that electrify this pump, and it pumps it up into that big box. You see that box up on top of those ladders? Well, once that water goes up in that box, guess what happens? It's got gravity behind it, and that water gets pumped out all over the community to different people's homes, to hospitals, and you don't have to have any electricity to pump that water. Gravity does it, all right? And this is Ronald introducing me to two of his community leaders. Sheila walked 20 kilometers round trip every day. That's over 10 miles round trip every day to get water. And she loves Jesus. And this is the project that Ronald developed. That project, this is a big number. I mean, there's 100 pennies in the dollar, right? Now imagine 576,000 gallons of milk. Can you imagine that? And now take the milk out of the gallons and make them water. 576,000 gallons of water. That's how much water that project purifies every day. And that was built by villagers, operated by villagers. That's why World Vision's work lasts a minimum 20 years. The average lifespan of a project done in Africa, a water project done by a Western charity in Africa or a charity from the United States or from Europe, is only 2 to 3 years. Well, World Vision's projects last a minimum of 20 years because our villagers do all the work. And Jesus' love is on the cellular level. It's on every level of the work that we do.